Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got disassembly and maintenance for you. This this big guy right here, the QSP knives. I believe the model is the Kylin, Kylin. So this is a big weird knife. Look, I should say the centering was roughly dead on when I took this guy apart. But anyways, popping this guy loose. This guy was donated to me by a wonderful viewer whose name I'm actually spacing on at the moment. I feel bad about that, but I'll remember it for the review. But anyways, this was something that I had actually seen at the Blade West, and it was like, okay, it's interesting, I suppose, but it's also a little pricey, etc. So it wasn't something that was going to be on my table. But then the viewer messaged me, said, "Hey Nick, I bought a knife. It's a little crazy. It turned out not to be to my taste, but would you like to cover it on the channel and then do a charitable thing with it at the end?" And the answer to that is usually yes. And so, given that it's sort of on my table for free and for charitable gains, I am not going to argue. Whoa there. I'm not going to argue with it, and so we'll take this guy apart. What we actually see, though, is not only that this knife is relatively dirty, which means, maybe not that bad. But anyways, it means that we should be able to do some good in here. But we're seeing some nice signs of quality in here, right? We're seeing a lot of internal pocketing in here, which helps to reduce weight. And that shows in the fact that it's not super heavy. We're seeing ceramic bearings all around. We're seeing a whole bunch of stuff going on here. And my big question right now is that pivot fully seated? No, it was not. So I just need to make sure this does get fully seated at some point in time. All right. But anyways, the construction, though, is relatively straightforward. We have a lock bar insert with an over-travel stop right there. We have ceramic bearings, ceramic detent ball. Oh, bearings are still in here on this side. Let's pop those loose. I don't know who Kylin is. I knew a Kylin once in college. Nice gal. One of those people who had so much energy that you were just like, oh my God, where is this coming from? It's 6 a.m., Kylin. We ended up, we were on committees together and whatnot, and, like running events and such. Like, it's 6 a.m., Kylin. How are you this perky? Are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. That sort of person. But like I said, overall, big fan. Very effective human. I think she's a lawyer now, which would make a lot of sense. Anyways, I digress. Kylin, nice name. What the heck am I talking about freaking Kylin for? All right, back at the ranch. It's been a day. I've realized that I have maybe, let's see here. This is going to be my 6th disassembly so far this morning on this beautiful Sunday morning, because that's what my weekends often look like, is work for the channel, right? But after a little while, I've noticed I tend to get a little bit loopy and tend to end up talking about people I knew in college named Kylin, and just how damn perky they were at any given moment. It was, yeah. Anyways, I digress quite thoroughly. Aside from that, what we can see here is there is a detent ball ramp, which is nice. You can see that little area right there. But aside from that, there really ain't all that much going on here. Looks like they did not mask off the action area when they were doing the DLC, but, okay. Nice detail, but not a crucial one. I'm going to go ahead and start reassembling here. I'll put down some lubrication and rotate that. I'm a little skeptical about this screw. It doesn't seem to be seating itself properly. It might pull itself in, so to speak, as I start turning the other side there. I suspect that'll be the case, but, if it doesn't, we'll keep that in mind. But it also was somewhat prominent anyways, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and put in the other washer here. I'll go ahead and put some lubrication in the detent ball hole there, which will then lubricate the detent ball path for us, and we're actually more or less ready to put this guy back together. All right. So now, yeah. The pivot is 100% not properly seated now. There we go. That's better. But what I want to do is kind of keep some tension on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little thread locker on there. By the way, if you're ever curious about any of the tools I'm using, like this thread locker or otherwise, go ahead, go to nickshabazz.com/tools. You will see a full listing of all of my disassembly toolkit. All right, pull that in. Beautiful. And tighten, tighten, tighten. That really doesn't appear to have seated itself down any further. So my concern always with something like that is that it is going to come out of position at some point down the road. That sooner or later I will be just carrying this guy and it will seat itself into place, and then at that point I will have substantial blade play. So I sort of want to make sure that that is in position, that is sort of where I want that to be. And so the trick is going to be to, there we go, just sort of rotate this pivot enough that it ends up in the place I need it to go, and the place I need it to go is sitting flush inside of there. Maybe it is fully seated. Maybe it just is a little prominent. See, this is one of those times where I sort of wish I could go back and, you know, check the footage. Oh, there it is. No, okay, see, look, it is all the way in now. Good. All right. And so this is an important thing, because like I said, had I just proceeded down that road, I'll go ahead and tighten the pivot down a little bit here. And I just gone ahead down that road, sooner or later that would have popped in there and seated itself, and then I'd have substantial play, and that's not great. Now I'm throwing screws. This is nature's way of saying, Nick, you need to probably stop doing knife disassembly videos and go do something reasonable with your life. But what is reason, really, nature? What is reason? Is reason a natural thing? I don't know. I suspect it's something they probably taught in law school. So maybe I'll ask Kylin. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and, okay, that's way smoother. No play. All right. I look at this knife and I laugh a little bit, but it's good to go. We appear to be all set in terms of your... It's a ridiculous freaking knife. Anyways, there we go. We're all done here, ready to go. And I hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.